Today we are taking a zoomed-in look at microlearning, what it is, and why it's rapidly becoming the most popular way to do informal learning in the workplace. Microlearning is a way of teaching and delivering content to learners in bite-sized bursts at the point of need. In short, microlearning is self-paced interaction with microcontent, usually focusing on a single idea or a topic at a time. It's one or two achievable learning objectives only, delivered in small repetitive chunks. Microlearning greatly enhances knowledge retention and skills transfer by delivering brief pieces of content on demand during work time. The subject matter is short, granular, relevant, and delivered just in time. Don't think of microlearning as a course. Think of it as a multitude of tiny pieces of training that are spread over the workday and week. After this lesson, you should have a better understanding of microlearning, how it works, and where it's used. You should be able to describe the benefits of microlearning and how it can help as a training strategy. This exciting emerging technology can transform adult learning and may become the future of training in the workplace. Understanding microlearning will help in our work and life. Microlearning is a useful instructional design tool. This powerful approach allows for more efficient and effective learning solutions that integrate seamlessly with learners' environments. Using microlearning ourselves will help us as knowledge workers by providing context for our own self-led learning initiatives. This approach to learning provides several cognitive and organizational advantages over traditional e-learning or workplace training. Microlearning provides better learner engagement, better knowledge retention, and it's faster and cheaper. Microlearning was developed in the early 2000s as internet technology delivered new forms of content delivery online and on mobile. Short snippets of content that could be accessed on demand fit well into the modern digital lifestyle. The trend towards mobile has people using their phones throughout the day in micro-interactions. The average office worker checks their email 30 times every hour, and the average mobile phone user checks their smartphone 150 times per day, in addition to reading tweets, watching videos, and absorbing various media. How short are microlearning lessons? According to some learning specialists, the maximum length for microlearning content should be 13 minutes. Ideally, they last no longer than 10 minutes, and the most effective time length is only 2 to 5 minutes. What form does microlearning come in? Google, YouTube, TED Talks, social media, videos, games, blogs, job aids, podcasts, infographics, and LMS-delivered training content. Microlearning provides better engagement with learning material. Microlearning is well suited to our modern lifestyle, as the bite-sized chunks of knowledge can be integrated into a busy schedule, taken when needed, and even called on during work as performance support. Microlearning is considered more engaging and interesting than traditional e-learning. 80% of employees now learn when they need it, on demand, just in time. Even people with great attention spans may struggle to remain engaged in long learning sessions. However, when people know that their learning or training will take only a few moments, it's much easier to get them to engage. The small portions of knowledge do not overwhelm cognitive processes and do not distract from normal workflow. Mobile technology allows for flexible, self-directed engagement with learning material at any time, anywhere. Employees can learn on the go, and relevant content can be selected as needed. Because technology now provides such easy, flexible access to learning content, learners engage more broadly and deeply without having to carve out time for long training sessions. Microlearning can be more like checking an app than serious study. It requires little effort from individual sessions and involves only simple, narrow topics. Quizzes, tests, and knowledge checks can sometimes be discarded. When learners reference learning material to fill a knowledge gap by looking something up on the job, it's not always practical to test them in that moment. Microlearning provides better learning retention. Microlearning takes advantage of the way our brains work to better retain new knowledge in long-term memory. First, by only parsing enough which could be processed in short-term memory, microlearning avoids the limitations of our memory and attention which longer training sessions struggle with. Second, by revisiting the learning over the days and weeks following the original learning, the memory is retained for longer periods of time. This works by a process called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Like the learning curve, the forgetting curve describes the rate at which we forget information over time. When new information is memorized, learners can recall it with 100% accuracy. After 20 minutes, they are only able to recall 58.2% of what they learned, and after a month, they can only recall 21% of it. Splitting the content into pieces and recalling parts of it over time will help with long-term knowledge retention. This is due to a process outlined on Ebbinghaus's memory retention graph. New knowledge degrades at the rate described in the forgetting curve graph, but each time the information is recalled, it is restored to 100% recallability, and it degrades at a new, slower rate. After several reviews, more knowledge is retained and less is forgotten, effectively placing the learning into long-term memory. This method of spiraling through the learning content allows the mind to absorb the knowledge in the most effective way. In this way, only the chosen, recurring knowledge is retained, and the learner can apply the knowledge immediately, further cementing the learning and skills transfer. Microlearning is faster and cheaper. The third advantage of microlearning we'll talk about today are the savings in cost and effort to both the learner and organization. Some benefits to the learner are increased freedom in learning, motivation from training success, and decreased time spent in lengthy training. Microlearning is considered more engaging and interesting than traditional e-learning. Some benefits to the organization are increased performance from the learner's new behaviors. Microlearning takes less time and fewer resources to create and deliver organizational training goals. In a fast-changing digital world, it's important for employees to always be learning. It doesn't just make them better at their job, it also helps their personal development. Renewed and innovative ways of work-based learning are required according to the ways we live, work, and learn today. Discussion questions. 1. What traditional training or e-learning do you currently use that could be replaced with microlearning? 2. What types of microlearning do you currently engage in? 3. Do you think microlearning can be used in the design of educational curriculum?